welcome to a bonus podcast about something.
Hey.
I'm your host, Calvin, and we usually talk about whatever it is we find interesting. And today, we're mostly talking about something I find supremely interesting. I never asked Nick his feelings on this topic, but Nick is also joining me from an arena in Chicago right now because we're talking 2020 NBA All-Star Weekend.
Oh, hell yeah.
Do you like the All-Star Weekend?
It's okay.
All right. I love it. It's honestly one of my favorite sporting events out there, especially Saturday night.
Who's the announcer?
It's always the same.
The announcers.
It's Kenny Smith, Ernie Johnson, Charles Barkley, and Reggie Miller. It's been the same for like 15 years.
I mean, I'm thinking like during the skills challenges and shit with Spencer Dinwiddie from last year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's fucking hilarious.
Oh, yeah, they always bring somebody on. They bring like last year's champion on. Or like the previous year's champion. I really miss, they used to do the 2-ball competition where they get like a retired player, a WNBA player, and a current player, and put them all on a team. They had to like make the 5, I think they called it shooting stars. They had to make the 5 different shots, right? And it ended with a half-court shot. I really liked that competition. And they took it out. They didn't replace it with anything. Like, at least put something in there. Somehow, they took it out. They didn't add anything. They added more commercials. They threw in a bad musical performance, and they've stretched out the dunk contest's runtime, but they haven't added more rounds or more dunkers in any way.
It's just
so I don't know what took up the time that went to the Shooting Stars competition, but I want it back.
I want to fucking back
Adam
now.
Silver, I know you're listening. Get on that shit.
Bitch. Yeah. Bitch.
So for me, like I said, All-Star Saturday Night, one of my favorite sporting events of the year. Really the worst part of it for me, though, is that my wife's birthday is always the same week. So for the past 10 years, I've had to DVR it and watch it like late. Like I'll always still watch it same night. I can't be like 2 days late on it. I got to watch it that night, but it's always late because we got to go out to dinner and, do all that shit. And so I don't get to be a part of NBA Twitter while it's all happening. And that really sucks.
It's my birthday week, too. So I know exactly what you're
talking about. But see, if it was my birthday, I would get to celebrate my birthday however I wanted. And I'd be like, no, fuck this. I'm watching NBA All-Star Weekend because it's awesome.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
You just got to set your priorities, Nick.
I guess so.
But this year, my wife doesn't want to go out because her birthday is on Valentine's Day. And she's like, I don't want to do a Valentine's Day commotion. We'll go to dinner later, like on Sunday or something. I'm like, all right, cool. Stay home, watch dunk contest.
I'm there.
Hit me up on Twitter. It will be live tweeted at APA something. Guaranteed. And if it's not live tweeted, it might be like an hour late live tweeted. I think I did that last year. Like I started after because it starts at like 8. My kids go to bed 8:30. So I started after my kids went to bed. And I'm just like live tweeting an hour behind everything.
Lame.
This year's All-Star festivities are held in Chicago, Illinois. You going?
Hell yeah. Hell no. I'm going to be in Chicago the end of the month, actually.
Well, you're going to miss
the All-Star game. Comic and Entertainment Expo,
Ooh, nice.
Yo.
I'm hoping if they ever have it in Orlando again, I'm going to try and go to at least the Saturday night.
Bro, I'm going to be in Fort Myers Beach this winter.
Nice. Hit me up. I'm here.
I'm doing it.
Okay. So let's talk. We'll just go through day by day. Friday, we've got the celebrity game presented by Ruffles. Great chips, Ruffles. Do you like Ruffles?
I love Ruffles, man. Love them. The sour cream and cheddar. So good.
I don't know what it is about the ridges that make it tastier than a normal... Like, it's the same flavor as a normal potato chip, but the ridges just... They add extra.
It's like an airy crunch.
Yeah, shout out Ruffles. I mean, we're looking for sponsors.
You're fucking great chips to put on sandwiches.
Yes, they are. Ruffles and Doritos are the best sandwich chips.
Ooh. Oh, yeah.
Hands down. Yep. You could put a Lay's on there. It just doesn't give you the same crunch.
No, you got to get a whole bag of Lay's on there to get the same
crunch.
Have
you ever done the Cheetos Puffs on a sandwich?
I have not.
That's a pretty good... You can't have a lot of ancillary shit on the sandwich. Like, you just got to have your meat, cheese, and Cheetos there.
The 3 major food groups.
Your 3 major food groups. Like, you can have your salad off to the side, but you can't have lettuce and tomato on that sandwich if you're also putting Cheetos on it.
It doesn't work. Soggy Cheetos are for the birds.
What?
What?
Did you say Puffs are for the birds?
Soggy Cheetos.
Oh, yeah.
Birds.
Okay. I agree with that.
Tomato.
I thought you said Puffs were for the birds. Puffs are the best kind, man.
You're like, bitch, let's fucking fight right now.
All right, so celebrity game presented by Ruffles. Who are you most interested in saying? We're not going to go through the whole roster because it's a whole bunch of people that I don't even know who they are. Who are you
Yeah,
most interested in seeing playing?
Dude, Common.
Common can
I'm
ball.
looking at Common. Fuck yeah, man. It's Common.
Have you ever
that
seen...
That motherfucker was a cowboy, basically.
Have you ever seen the movie Just Right with Common and Queen Latifah where he's an NBA player?
I have not, and that sounds awful.
It's not as awful as it sounds. It's fine.
I don't know.
It's like
it
a
sounds
solid...
pretty fucking awful.
It's like a solid 6. Dwight Howard's in it as like his best friend. It's fine.
Dude, that automatically drops it down like a 1.
It's better than Trainwreck where LeBron is Bill Hader's best friend. Come on now.
Yeah, that's super believable.
Yeah, Common is good. He's been in the celebrity game before. He's one of the few entertainers in these games that can actually ball. I'm excited to see Chance the Rapper. He's the captain of the other team. I think he could probably be good. Also a Chicago native. Quavo from Migos. Thank you. He's pretty good. He could shoot a little bit. And then I think I'm most excited, but also completely hurt by Darius Miles and Quentin Richardson. But they're on separate fucking teams.
Oh my God.
What is going on here? They have to be on the same team. They got to throw alley-oops. They got to pull up the antenna.
Pull up the motherfucking antenna.
Come on now. It's the best celebration of NBA players ever. And he got them on opposite sides of the playing
Bastards.
field.
They're just trying to spread the love.
I'm not happy. I hope Quentin Richardson still throws Darius Miles an alley-oop and they dunk it and throw up the antenna.
Dope as fuck.
That's not actually what it is. I read the story behind that celebration that they did one time, and it has nothing to do with like antenna or hooking up or like it's something completely off the radar.
That sounds fucking weird.
Does anyone care? Should I tell the story?
Flip a coin.
I'm just going to tell it. So Darius Miles, he did an interview with somebody at one point, and he pointed out, he said, like, they had gone to a local high school game in LA, and they were watching this team play, and whenever they would, on this high school team, whenever they would do something cool, they would do that celebration where they'd do the 2 taps on their head with their fists. Like, that was just their team's kind of celebration that they had figured out with each other. And so him and Quentin Richardson started doing it after that as kind of like a shout out to this high school basketball team. There was no deeper meaning to it, or at least that's what Darius Miles is claiming.
The high school team had to feel like fucking ballers.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, they were walking around their high school campus just going like, did you see Q&D Miles last night? Yeah, they got that from us. Come on,
girl, just look at my wiener.
But nobody knew about it. Like, he did this interview like 4 years ago, so nobody knew about it at the time other than, you know, the people in that school probably. And then it would really suck because everybody that saw them do it after that would be like, you guys are just trying to be like Q&D Miles.
Copied.
Yeah. Posers.
Oh, posers. That word.
Yeah. And in 2002, man, there was nothing that could be worse than a poser.
Everybody was a fucking poser.
So, yeah, I'm upset that Darius Miles and Quentin Richardson are opposite teams. Maybe they'll figure it out, though. And then Lil Rel Howard, he was in Uncle Drew. He's like the TSA dude in Get Out. Been in a lot of things. He's a funny guy. I think he's the new Kevin Hart, though. Like, he's going to fill that role of just being the annoying guy running around.
We always got to have one.
They've got Hannibal Buress in, too. I just don't see that kind of energy out of Hannibal Buress, though. Like, he's not going to go full Kevin Hart. Lil Rel could absolutely do that.
Buress is just going to be high as fuck. Like, I'll play.
Absolutely. Yeah, so it's those guys and then a bunch of people I don't know who they are. Do you know who any of the other people are?
I do not.
Do you care about any of the other people? And, like, I'm a little hurt because apparently I am no longer the target audience for this game. Too bad, so sad. Like, 2011 to 2015 was my prime, like, okay, I want to watch these celebrities play. One year they had Brian Baumgartner. Kevin from The Office. That was pretty cool, and it was even cooler because you could play as the celebrity teams in NBA 2K that year, and Kevin was just absolutely lights out from 3 if you picked his team.
That's fucking awesome.
It was like Kevin from The Office, like some dude from Jersey Shore. Justin Bieber was on there. Justin Bieber was pretty good too in the game. Like he's okay for a celebrity in real life. He's a little diminutive though, so that hurts him. But yeah, that was cool when you could play in 2K as the celebrity teams because they all had their ratings jacked up and stuff like that too. So it wasn't just like, all right, I'm out here with this 5'3" guy and he can't shoot or dribble or do anything.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like it.
And Michael Wilbon and Stephen A. Smith will be the coaches.
Don't really know who Michael Wilbon was until I had to go research this.
He's from Chicago. He's one of the guys on PTI. The black guy on PTI?
I
You
did
ever watch
not.
PTI? No. Apparently not. So I just wanted to talk. We talked about how Lil Rel is the new Kevin Hart. What were your feelings? Did you watch the Celebrity Game when Kevin Hart was
I
like,
did
when it
not,
was his
man,
thing?
because I find Kevin Hart extremely aggravating.
Well, that's what it was. It for like 3 years it just turned into the Kevin Hart show. Like the first year it was kind of funny. It was his first time doing it. He was kind of off the wall. He was pretty good at playing, but he's so small that he'd get blocked a lot. But he was actually good, and he's fast and athletic for the most part. And he was funny. He was cracking jokes and things like that. And then after that, it just turned into a show for him to run around and be
the Kevin
annoying
Hart
as possible.
variety, fucking yeah. That shit gets on my nerves.
I don't really watch the Celebrity Game. Like I'll watch highlights or I'll turn it on in the background if I'm home. Like I don't ever seek it out either. But I do like to see how good or bad, usually bad, these celebs are playing. They've got terrible shooting form. They can't dribble. Like Arnie Duncan, who's like a senator or some shit, was always the best player on these teams lately. The guitarist from Arcade Fire was one of the better players. Like Brian Baumgartner is one of the better players on the court. It's just funny to watch all these guys try so hard and they're so bad. Oh, Bow Wow. Bow Wow was in 2K. You can play with him too.
Dope, I bet.
No, he wasn't. I thought he would be. I mean, it's like Mike. Come on. And he's actually pretty good in real life, but he's got the same thing where he's too small to actually be effective.
Throwing shade.
He dribbles too much, and so in the game they kind of gave him a loose handle because he turned the ball over a lot.
Yeah.
So,
makes sense.
I got nothing else on the Celebrity Game. Let's talk All-Star Saturday Night, the real main event. For me, at least. And my favorite night. So we start out. We don't have shooting stars anymore. We got the skills competition presented by Taco Bell. Participants this year are Patrick Beverley, Jason Tatum, Spencer Dinwiddie, your boy, Derrick Rose, your other boy, Domantas Sabonis, Bam Adebayo, Chris Middleton, and Pascal Siakam.
I don't know who Bam Adebayo or Chris Middleton are.
Chris Middleton plays for the Bucks, man. Come on. He's a shooter, right? He's going to be last in this, I think. There's no way he's going to be good at this.
I don't know, man. Derrick Rose has like 50 bad knees.
Yeah,
I mean,
Derrick Rose has lost his quickness, and he's never been a good passer. Passing is really important in the skills competition.
Yeah, he can't pass for shit.
So Chris Middleton, he's a little bit on the slower side compared to these other players, and not the best dribbler passer. Like, he's a good shooter, but I definitely wouldn't be picking him. Bam Adebayo, he's a rookie or second-year player. He's a bigger guy. Because they usually try and break it up, big guys, little guys. So who do you got predicting to win this?
I'm gonna have to go with Jason Tatum for the repeat.
Oh, he won last year?
Yeah.
I know he won. I couldn't remember if it was last year. That's a good pick. I had Spencer Dinwiddie kind of top at the rankings. He won it in a past year. But really, history has shown that big men usually end up winning. I'm going Pascal Siakam. Great passer, great shooter. He's got some quickness. Like I said, passing is just by far the most important part of this. And then you got to be able to make like the deep three at the end, because that's where a lot of people have trouble. Because
that's the most important part.
Well, you got to, if you miss it, you have to get your rebound. All the other ones, if you miss it, there's a rack there. You can just keep shooting. But that last shot, if you miss it, you got to go get your own rebound. So if you miss that three, you're getting a long rebound, and that's tough.
Yeah, that can be really tough, especially when you're racing against the clock.
Yeah. So I got Pascal Siakam. You got Jason Tatum. Those are two good picks. If you're betting on this, I think either one of those would be good. Dinwiddie's probably your third choice there.
He actually challenged Tatum on air.
Nice.
To beat him in the skills challenge, so let's see if he can live up to it.
All right. Let's move on to the three-point contest presented by Mountain Dew. For this, we've got Joe Harris, Damian Lillard, Duncan Robinson, Trae Young, Davis Bertans, Zach LaVine, Devontae Graham, Buddy Hield.
Yo, let me just open with this as a Bulls fan. I can't believe Zach LaVine had the fucking nutsack to enter the three-point contest. This dude is hot garbage from the three-point line.
I've got all this
this
breakdown of all the other people. Joe Harris is a returning champ. I got stuff on Trae Young, Buddy Hield, Dame Lillard, all great. And then my last point is I think Zach LaVine will be the worst.
Fuck Zach LaVine. That dude is a douchebag. And he can't shoot a three to save his
Yeah,
fucking
I
life.
don't know why he's in there. I've been a little bit out on NBA regular season for the past 2 or 3 years, so I'm like, okay, maybe Zach LaVine's a little better at shooting now.
Hell no, that dude's worse at shooting because he thinks he's better.
So yeah, Joe Harris is the defending champ. He won last year. Trae Young is probably the best pure shooter out of the group, but this is his first time in three-point contests. Really hard for first-time guys to do well in the three-point contest. It's just such a different game shooting off a rack than like shooting in a game. And Trae Young likes to take those deep threes, gets a lot of momentum behind him. He's not like just this spot up dude.
Sure. No, yeah, he likes to move.
I feel like he's gonna jump 5 feet on every shot and have to run back to the fucking rack every time.
Yeah, probably.
That's gonna be rough. He's gonna waste a lot of energy. I'm going with Buddy Hield.
Buddy Hield, that's a good
from
pick,
Sacramento.
Man.
It's his second time participating. He's a great shooter. He's probably the second best shooter, like just pure shooter, to Trae Young in this. Dame Lillard's a great shooter too, but he's another one who like he usually's got a lot of momentum behind his shots. It's a lot different shooting off a rack.
See, I agree with that pick, and that's my first overall pick. But if I had my druthers, I'd pick Dame Lillard.
I would love to see Dame Lillard win.
If he was hot, because that when he gets hot, dude, he is just...
And
he gets hot relatively often.
He's been on fire for the past, 12 games, too. He's been over 40 in almost all of them. So he's going nuts lately.
He's fucking killing it.
All right, so Buddy Hield, Dame Lillard, that's who we want to see there. Dunk contest presented by AT&T. Again, the real main event of the main event of Saturday night. Participants this year, Derek Jones Jr., Aaron Gordon, Dwight Howard, and Pat Connaughton. Pride of Notre Dame.
Pride of Notre Dame. Fuck that school.
So what do you think's going on here? Who do you think's taking it?
Dude, it's going to be a matchup between Aaron Gordon and Dwight Howard for sure.
I disagree.
What?
Howard's making his triumphant return to the dunk contest. I don't think he's got it in him anymore. He's over 30. He doesn't have the legs anymore to get up and dunk the way he used to.
But I mean, it's Superman.
I think it's coming down to Derek Jones Jr., who was in the dunk contest last year, and Aaron Gordon. Derek Jones Jr. has hops. He can jump out of the gym, does some really great athletic stuff. He's like a skinny, wiry, tall dude, which is really great for these types of contests. But I just think we saw several years back, Aaron Gordon is by far the best dunker here. He's got the hops, he's got power, and most importantly, he's got pizzazz.
He's mythical in that sense. He's like Jordan in the sense he just hangs in the fucking air.
Well, and he's got to come back. He lost to Zach LaVine a couple years ago. He's got to come back, and he's got to get the crown now. And
which I don't understand why Zach LaVine didn't enter this contest and chose to enter the 3-point contest instead, like a fucking...
I probably don't want to get hurt again, is what I would say.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, that Zach LaVine, Aaron Gordon contest was fantastic.
Yeah, it was nasty.
Pat Connaughton might not make a dunk.
Probably not. He might dink that shit.
Before we move on to Sunday night, because we don't have a lot to say about Sunday night, but I have a lot to say about past NBA All-Star Saturdays. Do you have any fond memories of NBA All-Star weekends?
Really, it was just last year, because my birthday usually falls on the last day of All-Star weekend. So it's a day where I get to...
Happy birthday, by the way.
Thanks, buddy.
Because we probably will talk again before.
I mean, we probably will. But
I'm not on air.
No. But yeah, I mean, I kind of drink some beers and hang out, and I was having a great time listening to Dinwiddie shoot the shit, and, that was fun. So that was probably my best memory I've had, because a lot of times it was always like my friends would want to turn it into something bigger than it actually was. And
you just gotta watch, man.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just trying to see these dudes do dumb shit and put capes on and jump over cars and, spin around and do crazy shit. That's it.
Yeah. So you talk about Aaron Gordon, Zach LaVine. You talked about Dwight Howard putting on capes. What's his name? I can't think of his fucking name now.
Blake Griffin,
thank you. Jumping over cars. We've jumped over motorcycles. All kinds of crazy shit. So many free throw line dunks. But the best dunk contest ever still goes to the year 2000, a.k.a. the Vince Carter dunk contest.
Yeah.
You were probably too young for this.
I don't remember it, but I do know it as a fan of Vince Carter.
Look, it wasn't just Vince. Everyone was great in that. Well, most everybody was great in that dunk contest. This was the first dunk contest that I ever watched, and it was one of the most beautiful things I'd ever seen. You got Vince Carter, you got Trace McGrady, Steve Francis, Ricky Davis, Jerry Stackhouse. Those are great dunkers right there. And
Fuck yeah.
Larry Hughes. I mean, not a great dunker, but he was there.
He was there. He was chilling.
I just remember, like, after that year, they kept trying a bunch of goofy shit to try and capture the magic of what Vince did, and they never could because Vince was just his own magic. Like, Vince Carter was the magic of it. It wasn't anything else that they did. The next year, they did this goofy thing where they had, like, this wheel that the player spun that whatever it landed on, like, it would land on 360 or tomahawk or windmill, and they had to do that type of dunk. So they weren't even in control of their own dunks. They tried requiring teammates. They tried requiring props. They tried all kinds of shit to let people, keep trying when they miss, and just none of it worked. And they just don't need all of it. Just get 6 dunkers. If they miss, they miss. Let them move on to the next round. That's what the 2000 dunk contest really did right, is they had enough dunkers to support it. And then they had 3 dunks in 3 rounds, and your top 2 dunks counted. So if you missed a dunk, it was okay. You just got like your 40 or whatever, and you moved on to your next dunk, and you had to make it better. Not 40, you'd get like a 30. So then you just had to make sure you made your next 2 dunks. You don't need like all the shot clocks or like, well, that wasn't really a dunk, so they get to try again, so it's not really a miss. Like, it's all BS. Just penalize them for missing, and then they won't miss. That is the problem. Nobody's penalized anymore for missing dunks, so they just miss over and over and over again, and it's boring, and you get all this downtime in between the dunks, and by the time they actually make the dunk, you've already seen what they're doing 6 times, and it's not exciting anymore.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, that's lackluster. And it just kind of takes a lot of the win out of the sails.
They reformatted it every single year after 2000, and they just never recaptured what was so great about that one. Until Gordon versus Levine, that really got it. But that wasn't anything that the dunk contest did. That was just them being great. Blake Griffin had some great dunk contests. Dwight Howard had some great dunk contests. JaVale McGee had a great dunk contest. Josh Smith had some great dunks. J.R. Smith had some great dunks throughout the years. Jason Richardson had some great dunks. But it was all like, it'd be one person was really great in every one of them, and then everybody else was just kind of there.
Yeah, it was always usually a leader of the pack situation.
Vince Carter had the 9 best dunks or whatever it was, 8 best dunks, but like Steve Francis had like 3 50s also. Tracy McGrady had 2 50s. Ricky Davis threw down some good dunks. Like, everybody was throwing down great dunks. It wasn't just Vince Carter ran away with this thing. Like, everybody else was making great dunks. So Vince was a huge part of what worked, but they already had the best format going in. They had more dunkers and more dunks, and that's what's important. So get us more dunkers and more dunks. That's what we want to see.
Got to. We got to see that shit.
We don't give a shit what Kenny Smith has to say the whole time.
No, break the fucking backboard with your dunks. I want to see it.
All right, so let's talk Sunday real quick. Just go down the starting lineups for each team. We don't have actual starting lineups for each team because they do the draft now instead of East versus West, the captains draft teams. So here are just all the starters, barring injury between when we record this Wednesday, the week before it happens. We got LeBron James as the team captain, Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek Freak, as the other captain, and then we got Joel Embiid, Pascal Siakam, Kemba Walker, Trae Young, Anthony Davis, Luka Doncic, James Harden, Kawhi Leonard. Who's your first pick? If you're LeBron, Giannis, who are you picking first?
Probably Pascal.
That's a good pick. I'd go Luka. I think Luka's better.
I think Luka's better, but in the sense of a skills challenge, I think
it's not a skills challenge.
All-Star game.
This is All-Star game, man.
I'm saying it's the All-Star game, though. You're just trying to put on a good show. I think Luka's not as flashy.
We're going to see.
Pascal's very versatile.
I will say that Kemba Walker is by far my number 10 pick.
Yeah, I'm not real too excited about James Harden because I fucking hate him.
Yeah, but that's like a personal thing. But if you're going for like we got to win, you're picking James Harden pretty high.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
You got a prediction for the MVP?
It's probably going to be James Harden, just because I said I fucking hate him, so he'll win MVP.
I think it's going to be LeBron. Here's why.
That's
LeBron's
cheap.
Mostly given up on all this ancillary shit, but I think this is different because the whole weekend is going to be so much about Kobe. It's going to be as much Kobe as possible because of the tragic accident, which we're not going to really get into. I don't really feel like we need to get into it. Whatever's been said has been said at this point. I don't have anything to add to it. I just think LeBron, who's now a Laker, is going to embody that the most and try to lift himself up on it. And All-Star games kind of have a tendency to bring somebody to the forefront really quickly, and the MVP kind of separates himself within the first 2 quarters, and you can really see who's going for it and who the other players are letting have it a little bit. And I think LeBron is probably going to be going all out in this sense of, I'm doing it for Kobe because I'm a Laker now.
Well, and they'll all let him fucking have it.
Oh, absolutely. If that's the reason behind it, if he's like, I'm going to get the MVP for Kobe, everybody's going to get out of his way.
Yeah, absolutely. There'll be zero fight from anyone.
In the grand scheme of things, does the All-Star game actually matter?
Hell no.
Not at all.
It might go for contract shit, but not to us as fans.
Right, yeah. If you make so many All-Star teams, that helps the players, but like the actual game doesn't mean anything. It's really fun, like background noise, but I don't watch the whole thing. It's just on, like the night it's just on while I'm doing whatever else I need to do. It gets really boring really fast to watch these apex athletes half-assing it up and down the court, and then every once in a while throwing a cool alley-oop. Like, I'm fine ignoring the boring shit in between and then seeing the replay of the cool alley-oop right after it happens.
Pretty much. I 100% agree.
So, having said all that, they have a new format this year to try and make it more engaging. Did you read anything on this?
I did not.
Okay.
I did not see they were doing a new format.
Yeah, I saw this a couple weeks ago on NBA Reddit, I think, or maybe it was on NBA Twitter somewhere. Teams will compete to win each of the first 3 quarters. Each quarter starts with the score 0-0, and the quarters are 12 minutes long. So you got like 3 mini games first. And then, stay with me here, try at least. At the start of the 4th quarter, the clock is turned off completely, and a final target score is set. The target score is going to be the leading team's cumulative score from the first 3 quarters plus 24 because Kobe. And that's literally what the instructions said. It's like they're going to use 24 because of Kobe. So now both teams will start the untimed 4th quarter with their cumulative score and compete to reach the target score first. So the example they gave is if it's like 190 at the end, cumulative 190 at the end of the first 3 quarters, regardless of who won those quarters, the target score would be 124. And so Team A has only 24 points to score, but Team B has 34 points to score to win the whole thing. That
actually sounds kind of interesting.
It's interesting, but it seems pretty muddled as well.
It's messy. It's messy for sure. But, they're like, and how can we fit Kobe in here? That's how.
So each team is playing for a local Chicago area community organization. The organization selected by the winning team of each of the first 3 quarters will receive $100,000 for each quarter that's won. And the organization that's selected by the team that reaches the target score first in the 4th quarter, basically the overall winner, they get an additional $200,000. So that's kind of cool. They're giving back. They're finding ways. They're trying to avoid exactly what I said, that this is becoming a boring game, but it's super convoluted, and it's just it was really confusing for me to write out all the rules and to read through them. And I just feel like the first 4 minutes of that final quarter are going to be Reggie Miller and Ernie Johnson, Kenny Smith trying to explain what the hell is going on and missing what's going on in the game.
Yeah, they're going to be looking at a sheet of paper the whole time and not really paying attention. It's going to be super lackluster.
And then, I kind of like that each quarter impacts the charities. It's a little more opportunity to give to both charities. It's a really cool way to get them extra money. But, if one team just wins all 4 quarters, that charity gets $500,000. And from what I'm understanding of what I read, the other charity gets nothing. Which can't be right. Yeah, I don't think that can't be right. There's got to be a minimum of, you get $100,000 anyways. Because in the past, that's how it was. The winner's charity would get $500,000, the loser's charity would get $250,000.
I mean, I think that's the way it would happen.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they just wouldn't show it. They'd be like, yeah, no, I'm good.
I think it'll be kind of interesting to watch. Like we said, it would make each quarter more impactful, but I just feel like this first year, it's probably going to be a muddled mess.
Yeah, it's going to...
In 5 years, if they keep doing it and don't reformat every year like they do the dunk contest, it could be really cool.
We'll see. I mean, if LeBron stays at the helm of this and kind of leads the charge for the next couple of years, I think it has potential to be all right.
And I've got one last idea for you, Adam Silver. I know you're still listening. Have them re-pick teams every quarter. It's a pickup game at the Y. That would be way more fun.
That'd be intense, dude.
Like, think about it if in the first quarter, LeBron realized that his team's getting killed on the boards. So he goes into quarter two, he gets Joel Embiid, Anthony Davis, Pascal Siakam on his squad, and Nikola Jokic. So now they're getting all the boards in quarter two. They've just got all these big guys, but now they're not hitting threes. So in quarter three, they got to readjust again and get more shooters. Like, I think that would be a really cool way for them to kind of play off each other and figure out how to best build their team time after time.
I agree. I mean, that would actually be kind of tight. I'd be game for that shit, for sure.
I would love it. Adam Silver.
Hit us up.
I know you're listening. Just you don't have to give us any money for it. Just tell them where you heard it.
Whoa. You need to give us some fucking money.
No, just tell everyone where you heard about the idea.
You heard.
The money will come in from all the new listeners we gained for having this great idea.
Boom. Done deal.
That's all we need is the recognition.
Yeah.
You can give us money too.
Yeah, we like money. Money's dope.
All right, so that's all we got for this. Or that's all I've got. You got anything else on All-Star Weekend? I'm excited.
I do not.
I hope I get to watch it. Like I said, I'll probably be a little late on it, but I'll try and catch up during. It's not like the Super Bowl where if you're late, you can still catch up during the commercials because the commercials aren't cool. Super Bowl commercials are kind of cool. These ones aren't.
No.
And the music, you really get a good chance to pick up during the music act because there's definitely no Shakira J-Lo musical acts at NBA All-Star Weekend.
Unfortunately.
The best one that I've seen in the past 10 years was they had Fall Out Boy and 2 Chainz.
That might have been alright.
It was fine. But I don't know what goes on with their sound system. You can't hear anything, which is really weird. These NBA arenas are not built for having a concert in the middle of an NBA game. They can obviously house concerts, they do all the time, but when you put it in the middle of a actual on the court, it doesn't come out right.
No, the sound just has nowhere to go.
Yeah,
too many fucking people.
Well, and it's not oriented anyway. Usually, when you do a concert in an NBA arena, it's only at one side of the stands. The whole rest of the thing is blocked off behind them. So it's directed directly at people, and you're also not broadcasting it on TV for the most part.
True.
All right, so that's NBA All-Star Weekend. Thank you for checking out this bonus episode. Make sure, if you liked this, we talked a lot more NBA in our last real episode when we talked Malice at the Palace. It was a ton of fun, so check that out too.
Check it out.
And always come back for more. We're always on Twitter at APA something, at @alone_podcast. Check the backlog. We've got tons of stuff. There is some other NBA stuff. If you just want NBA stuff, there's some sprinkled in throughout. But I like talking NBA, and now that football season's over, we may find some more places to put NBA in, especially when the playoffs roll around.
With some supplemental XFL episodes.
No.
Super game. Yes.
No. I'm not watching the XFL. I'm not talking about the XFL. I'm not even acknowledging that the XFL exists.
You just did?
No, it does not exist. Thank you for listening. Thanks for stopping by.